everybody. Welcome back to Perfect Thursday, Season 2, Episode 2. I dropped the wig because I got a lot of hate mail from it.
Really?
Yeah.
I figured it wasn't a great idea. I mean, hopefully you can bring it back sometime.
My mom texted me and said, don't ever do it again. And
yeah.
that was it for that, naturally. But as always, shout out Brushes and Beans. Shout out some upcoming events that they have. Stranger Things.
Yeah, September 24th.
Themes?
September 24th,
Yeah.
they have a Stranger Things themed event.
Yeah, say that 10 times fast.
I definitely can't, but it's going to be, some 80s retro music, going to be a costume contest, some lessons with, all the pottery and stuff. So it's going to be a cool event. I would definitely check that out. You can register online. So
absolutely. Also, shout out Pittsburgh Clothing Company. Hooked us up with this gear merchandise situation.
Yeah.
Beast of the East shirts sold well, saw a ton at the game.
It was, dude, there were some people that I didn't even know who they were.
Yeah.
And they were wearing Beast of the East shirts, and that was, you have merch, you kind of know how it is with when people are wearing the Trap Walker stuff.
Jake was wearing a Trap Walker at the game. He had it up.
I ain't seen him. We was running back in the tunnel. I'm looking like, his eyes just lit up. He's big, just losing it. That made me smile when I see you standing beside the Trap Walker. That was lit.
Dude, I couldn't wait to see you wearing, while I was wearing it, because I was thinking, I'm an alum now. What should I wear? Do I come back with the Gucci and Louis and stuff, or do I support my boy and wear Trap Walker? And that was I was fired up. It was sick, man.
Lit. Yeah, it was good stuff.
But yeah, shout out Pittsburgh Clothing Company. You can still order your shirt. Pitt, after beating West Virginia, they're the Beast of the East right now. So that's what we love. But John, welcome back.
Yes, indeed.
John had a big game.
Huge game.
Got your stats right here. We got 4 tackles, 3 were tackles for loss, 3 QB hurries, 1 sack, and 1 forced fumble. Is that right?
That's correct.
Dude, that's good, man. Talk us through that game. How'd that feel?
It was great, man. I mean, as everybody knows, everybody knows the magnitude of the Backyard Brawl. But, going out there, it's been a decade since we played it. So having the opportunity to make those big plays in that game when everybody and their mama was at it. So it was crazy, man. I can't keep not rewatching the game. I probably done watched at least 6 times since last Thursday. So it's just a blessing. Honestly, really what it is. Yeah,
you guys killed it and showed out for the fans. All 75% West Virginia. What a ridiculous stat that they were saying before the game.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
I can't believe that ESPN would publish something like that, because it's such a strong statement.
Right.
No one at ESPN sat down and was like, "This seems a little."
I feel like if it
lopsided.
wasn't Pitt, they wouldn't have said that. That's just the most Pitt football media thing to be thrown around.
I feel like I think West Virginia sent that in ahead of time. Was you might want to send this in just to get the whole city riled up. It worked. Coach Narduzzi was mad about it. So
Coach Dews gave it to ESPN after the game on the post game. I love seeing that, because that's what we need. I do think Pitt fans get disrespected constantly, and they filled that stadium and really affected the game.
Yeah,
they really showed out. How did that? How did the energy feel?
It was unreal. We looked at. I think the Pitt football team just posted something on Twitter or Instagram about how they had 3 or 4 false start penalties. So if you can cause a team to false start. I think they had 2 false starts in the last drive trying to win the game.
Yeah.
So that just speaks to volumes of how the Panther Pit was, just the whole stadium. If you can cause a team to false start during a game like that, a magnitude like that, it's clearly that shows that it's definitely a factor.
That was one of the best games I've been to, atmosphere wise. That was sick.
3.2 million people tuned in, on the ratings too. So it was just absolutely, all eyes on, biggest stage in the mall. You guys showed out, did your thing. Talk to us about the game, though. How'd you feel? Were some strong points, some weak points? What was your assessment as you watched the film?
I feel like strong points, having such a long time just watching so much film, I felt like we came out and really put our best foot forward. As a defense, of course, you don't want to go into a game where you give up that many rushing yards. But, at the end of the day, it's the first game of the season, so that gives you opportunity to really learn about yourself. And, at the end of the day, I still feel like we're one of the top defenses in the country. Just looking at the film, and we're dominant. We're running, hitting, getting up, doing it over again.
Mm-hmm.
So, anybody that comes into the stadium is going to have to know that you're going to have to strap it up every single play. You're going to have to come with your best foot forward. So that's one of the things I really thought.
Definitely. When you hit that guy at QB on the goal line, he fumbled. Yeah. Why weren't you looking for the ball? You didn't want to score? You just wanted, you were good with the strip sack? That was it?
At the moment, once I stripped it, I was kind of in shock. Dang, I really just stripped the ball. And we're in the end zone, so I'm like,
someone got to get it.
I'm like, somebody, if I don't get it, somebody going to jump on it. I'm like, but if they don't get it, if I miss a chance to celebrate right now, it's gonna be real bad. So I was like, so as soon as I stripped, I looked at Hob, and Hob looked at me. I'm like, if I ain't gonna jump on it, you gotta jump on it. And he jumped down again. I got the chance to celebrate. He was like, man, I saved your ass for now. Yeah. I was like, I appreciate it. He was like, I had to get him back for that. I appreciate it though, definitely.
That was a sick play, man. I mean, you looked fast coming off the edge, and then like you said, the physicality of our defense, like it really showed out on that play and throughout the game, and that was awesome. Yeah. So
I think something that really speaks to the defense, and it was funny because we talked about it the first time we had you on about the versatility and the amount of guys that cycle through. Yeah. You know, it was unfortunate to see Des go down, but you guys filled in, stepped up, and then obviously you have a career game that night. You know, talk to us about that next man up mentality and kind of how that played after Des took that unfortunate hit.
I mean, it definitely plays a part in our defense. You know, we pride ourselves on having. It was crazy that you brought that up. Like during camp, I talked like on my senior talk that you guys know we do during the fall camp, and I brought up the fact like great teams they don't just have like 22 starters. Like they have 44 guys that can play any moment in time. So you always want to have a 2-3 deep of guys that could be starters on any college football team. And I think we honestly have that. I mean, looking them down the board on just roster wise. You can name any player and plug him and play in any school, and he'll be a day one starter. So I think that speaks to Narduzzi recruiting and just the whole university just building us up, and I really appreciate that a lot.
And you could sense that when you watch the game. I mean, there was a variety of running backs, receivers, all getting touches and making big plays out there. But from your perspective as like a vet guy looking over on the other side of the offense, like, a lot of question marks, a lot of first-timers out there really trying to show themselves. I think that they did, the job that they needed to do to at least make a name. How do you assess that as like a veteran on defense, someone who's been making plays in a Pitt Panther uniform, seeing those new guys like Keaton and Mumfield making those plays?
It's definitely big, man. I mean, those guys coming in just so early and now putting their best foot forward. I mean, seeing Keaton out there control the offense, Kanante catching those passes, Bub's a big guy that's going to make a lot of plays, Jaden Bradley. I mean, it's crazy seeing all these new guys making so many plays. It's going to be great, man. I'm excited for the offense. I mean, it's a pro-style offense. I mean, you got Coach Signetti coming from an NFL background, and we got a lot of playmakers, man. I mean, we're deep at every position. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a big year for the offense for sure. Yeah,
it was exciting, man. I mean, you look at, like, I feel like traditionally Pitt doesn't play games of that magnitude like first of the season. Yeah. Like usually, I mean, on a national spot like that with like new guys out playing, like it's a lot. And they answered the call. We got the win. Put up good stats, made good plays, and it's like it's only up from here.
Exactly.
If people were, I mean, you see people tweet stuff here and there, but like, dude, we won and we put up 38 points. Like, come on now.
I say first game of the season, you put up almost 40 points. I mean, you can't beat it. You can't be mad about that.
Yeah.
Really, the only, you focus on ironing out those initial kind of hiccups, first game jitters, and then move on to, Tennessee, which is a big opponent, big test. Talk to us about that, kind of what's been the prep after, because the magnitude of that moment, the magnitude of that game was so large. Going into that, kind of how do you respond and get refocused for a game like Tennessee?
I mean, you just got to put your best foot forward, honestly. I mean, this is going to be another magnitude game. I mean, I think they just dropped the AP polls. I think we're still at 17, but they just snuck in at 24. So now you got a 3:30 ABC game on a Saturday afternoon. That's 2 ranked teams in Acrisure Stadium. So now it's another big game right back to us. So, I mean, you really can't let the ball drop. You really got to come in like practice this Tuesday. We came and put our best foot forward. Everybody's working. I mean, it's no better than now. I mean, everybody put their hard hat on, so we're ready for Saturday. It's going to be a big game for sure.
For sure. We're excited to watch. I mean, Tennessee last year, they're going to be coming in angry.
Yeah. Who did they play week 1?
They played
Ball State. Ball State, and they got them pretty good.
Yeah.
But
and
you
they
guys
have a lot of guys back, right?
Yeah, they got tons of guys back, but so do we. And I mean, I feel like you guys definitely were tested week 1, whereas they, have that, kind of easier game. Not easy game. It's not easy to win any game in college football, but I feel like WVU is a little bit bigger of a test than Ball State. No disrespect, Ball State.
Yeah, no, dude. I just can't stop thinking about that game. Like, you should have seen me and Jim in there. I mean,
listen. Jake was in 55 different areas of the arena. He was on the field to start the game.
Yeah.
He was in section 137 at one point. He ended up in the club with me. He was on the rotunda with the banner. I mean, you were making a tour of a cruiser.
I went across the stadium to see, like, one of my old friends, sat with him for, like, a quarter. Like, dude, I was just bouncing around the whole time.
Got your steps in.
And I was as happy as you could be. I mean, you saw me, dude.
He was you would have thought the way he was smiling, you would have thought he was getting ready to play the game. That's how excited he was, and he was losing him the silence. It was lit, though. Everybody, I see everybody. It was lit.
That was a big one, man. There was a lot of guys back, like James Conner, DeMar. I saw Kyler Murray was there.
Yeah, that was wild.
Did you say what's up to Kyler Murray?
I did not, but I have him on my fantasy team. So
there you go.
Kyler,
so
you better show up.
Turn up, Kyler Murray. Thank you for being there and supporting the Panthers. After the game, you guys were obviously going over to do your victory song over with the students, but I saw there was some jarring there. Were you involved, John?
What
were you? I imagine you probably kept your mouth shut and just did your thing, right?
I'm about to say. I mean, I tried to throw a couple words in there, but for some reason they kept trying. They thought I was the guy that was leading, so they kept trying to keep me back. I'm like, I said what I had to say before the game, and I did what I had to do in the field. So I don't gotta say too much. But I mean, it's a rivalry game. It's gonna be a chippy game. I mean, we're going back to Morgantown next year, so they're gonna remember this one. They're never gonna forget it. So I mean, it comes with the game. I mean, walking out that stadium, we're going over to sing the fight song. It's gonna be definitely hard. You got to walk past the Panther pit, and they're all yelling all types of crazy stuff at you. So I can only see why they were upset.
Yeah, they were fired up. They were coming back. Did you see those clips?
Oh yeah. There's nothing better than seeing a salty West Virginia team after they lose to the Panthers. It was awesome.
It was a great, honestly, just in terms of like a story, like football's oftentimes like games have stories. The story of that game, 11 years, first one back, winning after a big season and a lot of question marks. That was truly awesome.
And then having a guy from Aliquippa top it off with the pick six. MJ. So happy for him, man. I always knew he was fast, but like he was
moving.
Flying.
Nah, yeah. I mean, I was on the sideline during that play, and I'm watching. I see him catch it, and I'm like, I'm like, it's he got a lane on the sideline, but I see him juke back, and I'm like, oh, they might tackle him. And he gets like the 30, and he's like rolling. I'm like, he's flying. Yeah. And I'm like, after the game, I'm like, bro, like, what was you thinking in your head, like doing the picks? He like, I just saw the goalpost. He was like, I didn't even see nobody run. I just was running to like, there, I was just trying to get there. And I was like, bro, you were moving a little too fast. And I think like they did the catapult numbers. He had like a 21 miles per hour catapult number.
Crazy.
And like a short amount of speed, like a short amount of feel like that is ridiculous.
Yeah, so, he made one move and went. And another big thing was like there was so many good blocks from the defensive guys running that back. Like, is that something that you guys preach and practice and like work on? Or do you think it was like guys were like, hey, let's go make a play?
I mean, yeah, we preach it in practice. I mean, and we like Mr. always goes down to like we get production points for that stuff. We get extra effort points. So anytime we can get a clean block on a pick, everybody's running and trying to clear somebody. And I mean, you never want to be the guy that on a big play like that gets that 15-yard penalty, that crackback block. So I mean, we practice it in practice. So I mean, it all worked out at that point. So
it was an awesome moment. I mean, that moment will be replayed in the history books forever. So yeah, that's amazing. Something that I thought was hilarious, probably my favorite post-game moment was your tweet with all the screenshots throughout the summer of people commenting. Like, talk to me about that, because I love that. That was my favorite moment. And do you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I saw this, but I can't remember it.
Just to fill you in, there were like people tweeting at John about John regarding like the season and how WVU was going to steamroll him and this and that, and he screenshotted all of them, kept them, and then threw them right back in the face after winning. I was loving it. But talk to me about that.
I mean, after that was probably when, like, after the game, like I got to the locker room, I'm looking at my phone, like I'm getting like hundreds of thousands of texts and DMs and stuff like that. In my head, I'm like, I appreciate all the congrats, but like this is what I'm waiting on. So I kind of waited. I think I waited till maybe Saturday, and I waited till like the Twitter to die down because I knew that was going to really boom. And I'm scrolling through my camera roll, and I had screenshot. It was probably when I posted that tweet about the cross shop, and like my Twitter blew up. So I probably had like 20 people like quote that tweet and saying all out crazy outlandish, but it was only a couple people that I really like that stung with me. And when I posted it, like it blew up, and like the guys that said that type of stuff were dimming me like I didn't really mean it. It was a rivalry game, and I was like, man, I was like, bro, don't try to do that now. Like you try to say it before the game, so stick behind your words. So it felt good, definitely. It felt good. I loved it. For sure.
I was so fired up reading that. I was like, that's an awesome moment.
Yeah, Pitt Twitter was awesome this weekend.
Pitt Twitter was great.
How'd you guys? How was the locker room after the game?
I mean, it was uncanny. I mean, it was a lot of people. All I can say is a lot of people in there that had a lot of money. A lot of guys that you
were in there.
I found my way.
Jake made his way.
He made his way in there. I mean, it was a lot of people in there with a lot of heavy pockets. A lot of smell of tequila. A lot of tequila roaming through the locker room. That was definitely a wild one. But I mean, it was crazy, man. A lot of Instagram lives, a lot of screaming, dancing, water balls thrown around. I mean, I've never seen Arducci smile that hard in my entire life.
Oh my gosh,
it was really a movie.
Yeah. It's a big moment, and yeah, I really liked Coach Dews in his press conference on Monday was talking about like turning the page, really refocusing on Tennessee. So I'm glad you guys were able to enjoy that moment. You know, moving on though, a couple of times last season, you know, you had big games, big wins, followed it up with a tougher second week.
Exactly.
How do you guys respond to that, and what are some things that you're implementing this week to really refocus and make sure you handle that adversity well?
I mean, just throughout the facility in the locker room, man, really we try to really not talk about the win as much. Like after, like once we came back in on Sunday, like we kind of always, like I know you guys know, like nobody's always talking about like flushing down the toilet. Like at this point, we really don't even bring it up. Like now it's really like, what do we have to do to beat Tennessee at this point? So I mean, I feel like that's the best way to do it. Just try to let it go. Don't really talk about it as much. Like, of course, when the plays come up in practice and stuff like that, you can say, oh, yeah, maybe this play in West Virginia. But outside of that, you really want to just focus on the next opponent at hand because, I mean, that's the next game that matters. Going to want to know that next weekend.
That's for sure.
That's why I think, this program is really heading in the right direction because, I think we were like that last year.
Right, yep.
Like when we knew the ACC was, like, on the cusp of happening for us, like, it was always like, hey, next game, next play. Like,
exactly.
We didn't get too caught up in all the successes. And I think now, like, we have guys who came back who like learned that mentality and you're still doing that.
Exactly.
And that's what's sick about it.
That's the big part about it for sure.
Yeah. Leadership all over the team certainly helps. Switching gears away from football, though, I wanted to tell this story. I wanted to tell it on air. And you don't know about this, but you can respond to it. So we went out to dinner this past Sunday, Kenny, his fiance Amy, and I, and we're sitting there in this booth, right, at the yard. Now, it's a sudden transition, but I'm really anxious to tell this story. So we were sitting there, and this guy approached the table asking for a picture, and he's looking at me. He's like, you want to get a picture? I was like, yeah, sure. And you could tell he's a little bit intoxicated, like really was foggy. Seemed like he wasn't a Pittsburgh guy.
Right.
And he's like, you want to get a picture? I was like, yeah. So I'm reaching for this guy's phone because I'm assuming he wants a picture with Kenny, right? But he's like, no, he's trying to get a selfie with Jim from Perfect Thursday. And I'm like, I was like, what's going on? Kenny's like, yeah, give me that picture. I'll take it. So Kenny takes a photo, is taking his picture. Meanwhile, this guy thinks I'm Kenny for sure because I look over at the bar and the group of men he was sitting with were like cracking up.
Right.
And I'm thinking, dang, they told this guy that I'm Kenny. So somewhere out there's a picture that this guy posted on his social media of like, look who I met today, and it's just Jim from Perfect Thursday while Kenny's behind the camera.
That is ridiculous. I ain't gonna lie.
You ever had something like that happen to you? Anyone ever confuse you with someone that you were?
Not recently. I mean, I feel like the wildest thing that's ever happened to me, like in that vein, I think it was I might have was in Florida one of the times with my family, and like we were out eating on South Beach, and I think we was at the La Fontaine Blue Hotel, and the guy he was really drunk, like he was falling over himself, and like he came up to me and put his arm on my shoulder. He like, Deion Waiters, just like I'm like, and I had never got that in my. I'm like Deion Waiters. I'm like, he hasn't played for Miami in years. Like, why you just assume that he would be sitting right here? And I went with it. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, yeah, Deion Waiters, man, Miami Heat. Let's get a picture. Let's take a video. And he like shot at me like, yeah, we with Deion Waiters at the Hotel La Fontaine. I'm like, yeah, we lit. Let's get it. And then after that, I saved that story for a long time. I really never told nobody that, but yeah, it was. I felt like a celebrity that he was hyped. Yeah, so
that's a random comparison.
Right,
Deion Waiters was a crazy one. I had never heard that one before.
Do you think you look like I can't imagine what he looks like right now.
I don't really understand like where it came from. I guess it's just because I had my back turned. I mean, I guess it's just Miami, so I guess he just assumed that I was just a basketball player and in the hotel. So I mean, he was hyped, so I got hyped with him.
You're just an energy guy.
I just had
I would have just ran with it.
I had to feel his energy, so I had to go with it.
That ever happened to you, Jakey Z?
Nah, dude. Actually, I used to get mistaken for Mason Rudolph.
I was going to say everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
there was one time at the facility. It was like a group of people. It was like the guys who would wait after to get autographs when guys leave the facility.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm walking by the indoor, and they see me like probably like 75 yards away.
Right.
They're sprinting towards me. Like, Mason. They got their helmets and their pens, and then they get to like 30 yards, and they all just kind of like slow down.
They're like, oh, shit.
And they're like, oh. And they're like, never mind. And they literally just turned around and walked.
Did you tell them you're Jake? Well, I guess at the time you weren't Jake from Perfect Thursday.
No, I was a young walk-on.
You were just trying to.
I don't even know where I was.
You were trying to earn it.
Just trying to earn it.
You were probably asking, what are you guys doing here at 9 p.m.? Because that's what time you were leaving the facility.
Speaking of walk-ons, Nick Lappy.
Yeah.
I mean, like I saw tweets. He was a freshman last year.
Okay.
I played with him.
Yeah.
I saw like tweets that he'd had a good camp
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And then like I'm up in the stands and I look down and it's the last drive.
Yeah, yeah,
It's third down.
yeah.
Base defensive is in.
He's
and
out there.
True sophomore walk-on linebacker Nick Lappy
Stop it.
is in at Mike
I wrote-
linebacker.
Are you kidding me?
So like we're on the sideline, but I didn't know he was coming in. So like I'm on the sideline, and like we go off for the last play because they're coming out for the last play, and I look back, and his eyes are like big as I don't know what.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at him like just relax, just make the show
Breathe,
call. We're gonna be
right,
good.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
don't stress it. He came to the side. He's like, bro, I didn't know. I thought I couldn't speak. Like he said the words would come out of his mouth. Wow. Like, but now he had a great camp. I mean, he stepped up. It was really big for him. I mean, he was the best special team the whole game, and he got that big play. He was excited as I don't know what. Like he said, he was lost for words. But
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, clearly he has earned the right to be in there in those
definitely.
moments, and
Yeah.
like to see a young guy who's like not on scholarship
Right,
yet
yeah.
to be in
That's
there and you
huge.
can count on
Right,
him. Like,
yeah.
shout out Nick Lappy,
Yeah.
number 59.
yeah.
Walk-on way is glowing right now.
Nah, it's really it's so like the walk-ons now. Like when y'all was here, like y'all played a lot, but like the walk-ons now they're balling. Like it's ridiculous.
That's so awesome.
Anytime the guys come in, they're making plays.
Javon Lewis.
Jay Lewis like one of the ones that really like he made his way all the way up. He's traveling. He's starting on kick. He's starting on all the specials. He made a big play and kickoff tackle like down to the 15, which is always big.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of walk-ons that's really balling right now. It's gonna be like good shot.
And that goes a long way with special
Yeah,
teams too.
definitely,
Like
yeah.
to be a championship team, you need guys that
Exactly.
care about special
Right, for
teams.
sure.
And guys are starting to realize, like, hey, like this is the way you get on the field.
Yep.
This is the way you get scholarships.
Yep.
I mean, that's
For sure.
We'd
great
be
to see.
remiss if we didn't shout out Gav here. Shout out
yeah,
Gav
Gavin
earning a
Johnson.
scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet feet for sure.
That was sick,
definitely.
man. I feel like we had an idea that was coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because he's been
He's a
playing
beast.
so well.
He's been balling since he got
he's
here.
a beast.
And to see him get the call from
Yep.
Dan
Yep.
Marino, Central
Yeah, that was
Catholic.
lit.
That was fire.
That was lit. Yeah.
Shout out Gav. Gav will be on soon. We're gonna have
Yeah,
Gav on
we
soon to
gotta
talk to
gotta
him.
get
We were
Sweet
trying to
feet
get
on
him
that.
on last week, but it just schedule popped up.
Scheduling conflicts.
Jimmy had another softball game, so
Perfect Thursday guys are incredibly busy, believe it or not. That's why we fail at our podcast most of the time. But we are the fastest growing failing upwards podcast in the country. Don't check me on that. John, tell me about this season though. I feel like we're in a good spot. I feel like we're growing toward a good thing here. What is the temperature in the locker room right now? What's your vibe that you're
I
getting?
mean, I just feel like it's good right now. I mean, it's just a lot of hardworking guys. I mean, we had a great camp coming to the first game, and I mean, I just feel like we all know what we want. I mean, like you said, we got the AC championship last year, but I mean, as you see, like college football is changing every day. I mean, this guy's winning and losing every single weekend. So I mean, it's never a point where you can say, okay, this guy's the favorite for the national championship, but this guy's a favorite for the AC championship. So I mean, it's open for anybody.
Yeah.
And like I said, why not us?
How do you feel when you look at a game like Tennessee and you're coming off a big win and an ACC victory, and you get a report saying that you're 7-point underdogs
Right.
at your home stadium? What's that feel
I
like?
mean, it kind of burns. It's like,
Right.
why you pick us to be the underdog, and we just won, and they played a smaller school and they
Right.
blew them out, and we just had a dog fight. So why you think that they can just come in and we be ahead of us? I mean, it kind of burns. I mean, I take that to heart. I mean, I always keep the chip on our shoulder. I mean, I like the underdog story. That's
I
just
do
my
too.
thing.
I prefer to be the underdog.
Yeah, definitely,
going
because
into
at the end of the day, that makes that win feel 10 times better. So I mean, anytime you can put us down on the chips, go to the casino, put your money down. We're gonna come out and get the win. So
Go make some money.
Go make some quick money for sure. Definitely go make some quick money down at Rivers. That's the end of the day, man. For sure. I love the underdog story.
I'll speaking of the casino, I decided like I'm done going to the casino for a little bit. Not for like a horrible reason, but I'm just like I've been on a losing streak. So
Terrible gamblers.
I
a
did have a
perfect Thursday.
$25 ticket. And I drove down yesterday to cash it out and get the cash. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put it on black. While I'm here. And I was like, I'm going to put it real quick and I'm going to leave no matter what happens. Put it on black, rimmed out on black, went to red. And then I was like, that's why I don't do this.
Yeah, it's terrible. Meanwhile, we haven't paid Peter in years. Jake's gambling our only $25 away. Peter's over here struggling to eat, and Jake's freaking gambling our $25 tickets.
I'm also going to get a text from my parents about why are you going to the casino?
No, you gotta break your streak because Josh, my little brother, turns 21 Friday. We're all going. Yeah, we gotta. Yep.
Yeah, that 21 birthday casino trip is always that's a big one, man.
It's
I'm
beginner's
about to
luck.
say it's either hitting big or either going down in flames real quick. It's wild. Yeah, it's wild.
Where were you at for your 21st? Were you home or were you?
No, I was here actually. No, That's the problem. I forgot. I forgot where I was at. Dang, where was I for my 21st birthday?
He's like, that's
was
crazy.
I here? I don't even remember.
When'd you turn 21?
I turned 21 in June 6th. Where was I for my 21st?
You should have been here.
Yeah.
June 6th.
Yeah, I was here. I actually went to the casino. And I lost a lot of money.
You had the burning flames.
I lost a lot of money in the casino, man. I try to stay out of it. I just go there for the food. That's it. I just watch. Just try to pick up stuff, just sit there, watch the games and stuff like that. But outside, I ain't getting on that blackjack table.
Well, it's like golf. Most times it doesn't go well,
right,
and then it goes really well once,
Yeah.
and then you're like, I'm going to keep doing it.
It's addicting.
It is. And that air conditioning, the air condition rule is real.
What's the air conditioned rule?
So look, y'all never heard about that?
I don't
casino
know what
air
you're
conditioning.
talking
So
about.
like,
I know what you're talking
I was
about.
about to say like, so I went to Las Vegas over the summer, and like I was in there. You know what I'm saying? You know, every hotel got a casino in it, and I was talking to one of the guys who like, yeah, you know about the air conditioning rule in the casino. And I'm like, what you talking about? He's like, look around. He's like, there's no windows. He's like, there's no clocks on the wall. He's like, but the air conditioning always at a steady temperature, so you always can feel like it keeps you awake. And so it's like, it's probably, I think it says probably like 65.
Right.
So there's a chill breeze on your neck, so you always stay awake. So people be in there all night.
Wow.
So I
It
was
is
like,
comfy in there.
I was like, and I didn't really think about it. It is not.
Jake's falling asleep.
It's wild. Like,
Mesmerized.
I didn't really think about it till like I came in one morning from working out, and it was a guy on the blackjack table. This was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I went out the whole day. I come back and he's still there. It's 8 o'clock at night. So I'm like, this is actually, it's like kind of like a trip. It's actually wild. It's scary.
No, I've seen people melt into the sea at the blackjack tables at the slots, especially. I mean, people spend hours.
Slots
there.
is the
Slots is the
crazy
one,
because you're just nonstop.
That's wild, man. So what's a atmosphere on campus like? You feel like you're walking around campus, there's more of a buzz because, the football program really since 2015 has been on an upward trajectory. You feel like there's a temperature change from when you first got here to now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody's happy when you're winning. So I mean, that's the good thing about it. I mean, everybody's on campus, everybody's loving coming to the games. I mean, it's hard to see a school that's a city school that you come to a game and the entire student section is packed doing pregame warm up. So you can tell like the whole school is really behind the football team, just behind sports in general. And I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, when you have that type of support on campus is big. I mean, I'm excited for that. I love going on campus. People always try to stop me and say, what's up? I try to wear my trap walker hat on campus as much as I can, just so people just understand the brand. People ask me questions all the time, like, what does it mean and stuff like that. So it's always good talking to people on campus, definitely.
I love that.
And you got some new Trap Walker gear coming out, or is it
we got a new line.
Yeah, Protect the Act. Yes.
Where can we get it, John? Tell us.
John, drop.
Protect the Act, man. That's coming soon. I'm actually about to post something tonight about it. Definitely a new T-shirts dropping. Protect the Act. I got a new Trap Walker logo. It's gonna be a Rock the World T-shirt, royal blue with yellow letters. So I'm trying to see that all throughout the stadium. So I'm gonna drop that tonight. I'm gonna tag these guys so they can circulate and stuff like that. So
come on now,
be on the lookout for that for sure. Definitely.
Love that.
And then we'll have to also split it with the Beast of the East. Next time you come on, you'll be in our merch.
Bet,
we'll be in yours. It'll
Let's just
be good
keep
stuff.
merching each other.
Let's
out
do
there.
it. Merch it up. That's for sure. Let's merch it up.
Speaking of merch, not really speaking of merch, but more so what I want to hear about. What are we going to be for Halloween this year?
I was gonna go Jabberwockies with my.
Oh my God!
Me and
What a
Taylor
cookie
were
cutter
gonna be-
idea.
Yeah, but like
You and everybody else in the country are going to be
just me and Taylor. We're the only ones doing it.
Oh my God!
So you're gonna have like a specialty dance move that y'all gonna do that you're gonna.
It's gonna be the worm.
That's a good one.
I'm being the OG Willy Wonka, purple jacket style, and I'm trying to recruit my cousins who are 5, 6, and under to be Oompa Loompas.
Nah, if you could get them to do that, that's gonna be lit. I ain't gonna lie.
You know my family.
That'll be
short.
lit. That'll be lit.
They're not too keen on it though. They don't
That'll
like
be lit.
the idea.
Have you thought about it, or are you a little focused on football?
I'll be focused.
Me and Jake got a lot of
I was
time.
about to say. I don't know. I mean, now I'm thinking about it in my head. I'm like, shoot, dang, that's a good one.
Listen, that September clock turns on, and I'm like thinking immediately.
Dude, I
like,
saw
it's
like
Halloween
the
time.
Halloween stuff like in the grocery store. It's already out.
But yeah, it's wild. I mean, I just seen
here.
the pumpkin spice latte is coming back
Come
at
on,
Starbucks.
I had one 2 days ago.
Tis the season.
I was about to say, and Starbucks is on campus is always booming. So it's
for
always
sure.
the line is always to the door every single day. So it's ridiculous.
Insane.
Well, why don't we? Sorry to switch it up there, but why should we get into the new
the mailbag?
Mailbag.
Listen, perfect Thursday.
We have a new segment.
Okay,
we're dropping the top 5 after our disastrous debut. The top 5.
Yeah, we're gonna put the top 5 on hold. I was a big fan of it, but we do have 5 questions.
Okay, hold on. Jake called me today at about noon. He was like, "What's our top 5 going to be today?" I was like, "Jake, we got to drop the top 5. It's so bad. It's so bad."
It's
so
like last week
unoriginal.
we did top 5 neighborhoods in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And then I was like, what if the next week we do like top 5 breakfast sandwiches in
Right.
Pittsburgh. Like, that's not a horrible idea.
That's not horrible.
It's just something to talk about. But we replaced that unoriginal idea with this totally original idea that no one's ever done before. And welcome to the Perfect Thursday mailbag.
It's called the Thursday mailbag. So thank you everyone who submitted your questions. We actually had a lot.
Yeah,
I was not expecting that much.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna go with 5.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we wouldn't have time to do all of them.
Right. Yeah.
No bias here. My mom did text me with the first question.
Okay. Bet.
So the first question is brought to you by my beautiful mother, Susan. It's a good one. She said, "How did you get yourself into the intense rivalry spirit, being from Maryland, and not being raised with the Backyard Brawl?"
Honestly, I feel like the last week of camp, I really like took a keen for it. I kind of like watched a lot of the videos on YouTube. Really was the first thing I probably looked up, just the Backyard Brawl, just understanding history. Just went on, like, just try to learn as much as I can. I really think what really got me into it was at the kickoff luncheon when LaShawn McCoy talked about it.
Yeah.
And like he really like just the passion behind when he was talking about how much it meant to him. And I feel like just growing up, like being a football kid, being around my dad a lot, when a lot of like older guys talk about what rivalry games mean, I feel like that kind of feeds the fire for me. I mean, seeing those guys on the sideline also, like, before the game was something they were excited for, and they weren't even playing. So if you can go out there and put on a show for those guys, that's probably one of the big things out there that got me like hyped up for sure.
I love when LaShawn McCoy's around, dude.
Yeah,
I talked to him like one time. There's no way he remembers me, but like he's just a cool dude, and he's such a Pitt guy.
But he's great to be around. He loves Pitt to the heart. Like, he loves it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get him on Perfect Thursday.
I would love to.
Shout out Shady McCoy.
But shout out to you guys for really embracing the rivalry. Like, you could tell with like the chirps and everything that was going on.
It was great.
Like, you guys,
it was a true rivalry.
It was a physical
the atmosphere
game.
felt that way.
Second question from @the_Matt_Spec24.
Okay.
We're gonna put up their Instagram.
Shout out, Matt.
Are we actually gonna?
We'll talk to our editor.
Okay, yeah.
AKA myself. We'll see if I have time tomorrow.
How does it feel to walk into someone's trap and take over their trap?
Hey, man. It's a special feeling, man. I mean, it's nothing like it. I mean, you can feel the energy, like when that time's ticking down, you're looking across the field, it's like the trap just got taken over. Like, you could tell, and like, I mean, most of the time, like, for some reason, a lot of people are actually like trying to like actually understand, like, getting on the trend, so they know, like, once that time's ticking down. And at this point, I'm looking for the flag to plant it. So I'm looking around, like, strolling the sideline trying to find it. But playing at a away game stadium and beating them at their own home is probably the best feeling. I feel like it's better than just playing at the home stadium, because I mean, it's nothing better than walking to the trap and taking it over, and they already know there's nothing they can do about it.
I always said that silence that a home crowd gets after you just beat their team, that's the best sound in the world.
It, like, especially like when clock's running out, there's like 3 minutes to go, we're driving down,
awesome.
it's like,
man,
awesome.
You can just feel it. Third question from @Sam Scalzo.
Okay.
3 M's in their Instagram handle. How does the defense stay level-headed and not overreact or get down after a big play?
I mean, honestly, I just feel like we understand what we can do on the field. I mean, I feel like I said, we're one of the most dominant defenses in the country. So at any moment in time after like a big play happens, I feel like the one time in the game was actually, I think the early in the fourth quarter, they scored that touchdown on that fade in the back corner. And like, we all came to the sideline, and we were talking to guys like, guys, we're going to be okay. Like, it's going to be all right. Like, you look at the clock, it's 13 minutes left on the clock. Yeah. If they think they can handle us for 13 minutes, it's going to be a long day. So, I mean, a lot of the time, it's really just self-belief in yourself. I mean, like I said, I feel like we're the baddest dudes on the field at any point in time, baddest dudes in the country. So, it really all just comes down to, like, self-confidence, self-belief in yourself. That's what it comes down to, for sure.
Yeah. I look at it as, like, you look at, like, defensive backs in the NFL, and they're guarding, like, Devontae Adams, like, they're gonna get beat.
I say one play mentality.
Like, that's got to be like frustrating, because you like know, like, it's gonna happen. Like, no matter how good of a defense you're at, it's gonna happen. It's part of the game.
You can be in the best position in the world. I mean, sometimes he just gets the better of you. It's happening. He's good too. I mean, he's playing at the college football.
That's what Coach Powell says all the time. They're D1 athletes on scholarship too. So
definitely
they're qualified.
Cool. Fourth one. BA_Anthony_94. I'm sure there was some good trash talking during the game. Any good lines that you're willing to share?
I mean, I think it was probably like maybe the first quarter. I think they had like those 2 fumbles. They were like dropping the ball and this, that, and the third. Yeah. And like, I think it was after that, like in the middle of the field on the 50, he dropped it. And like, I'm walking off the field, and he's like, you guys suck. And I like, it was me, Hobby, and Kalaji. We all like look back at him like, bruh, stop. We all just kind of gave him like that. Just relax, bro. Like, if you think you about to start a trash talk now, just wait. And then it was after I got my strip sack, and I'm turning around, and the tight end's looking at me, and I'm like, excuse my friend, like, you suck. Like, I was like, it's gonna be a long day for you. You really think you gonna block me like that? And he was like, his eyes got all big, and I'm like, if that's your response to me saying you suck, then this definitely gonna be a long day for you. But I mean, yeah, the trash talking that whole game was intense, man. I mean, they didn't like us and we didn't like them. So I mean, that's what it comes down to for sure.
Yeah. I love the trash talking.
I
wasn't great at it, but I was serviceable. So I would go in.
I live for it, man. I do my research. So if you think you're gonna up me on the trash talk, best believe you're probably not. I do my research. I look all the way. Wikipedia pages, Facebook's accounts, anything I can find, articles. If you got some dirt, I'm gonna find it for sure.
Josh coming in with a background check on the
every
tight
single time,
ends
for sure.
and the
Definitely,
receivers and the quarterbacks.
I got to.
That's beautiful.
You ever get trash talked and you like try to say something that doesn't make sense? You just turn around.
Walk away.
Definitely all the time. Yeah,
Get out of my face.
I was about to say for sure. Yeah, definitely.
All right, last one. This is a different one from @Pittsburgh Dave. Dream college team to play against from any conference.
Dream college team to play against.
If you had one team to play against this year,
Alabama national championship.
Go get them.
Got to.
I love that.
That is a great answer.
That's what it is. That's winner mentality right now.
I feel like that brings all the marbles right there. I mean, that's the best of the best. I mean, if any point if you're playing against Alabama in any big game, I mean that means you're definitely either having a great record or you're going to play something meaningful. So if I can see Nick Saban in California, so that's the one game I'm looking for.
I love that.
That's a big one.
Go,
that's what he goes. Who's the baddest? That's who I want. Me and you would have been like, we'll take Westminster at home.
I want the biggest and the baddest. That's what I want to play.
That's a great answer. I love that.
That's beautiful. Listen, John, heck of a game. Excited to watch you throughout. Thanks for entertaining our segment there. Now it's time for Jake and I to do a segment. You just listen. We would ask you, but you're a player. I don't want to put you in a spot. Okay. Predictions for Tennessee. What do you got?
I think we're going to go – I think it's going to be 35-20 us.
35-20? Yeah. I said 31-17. I think the defense is going to respond.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get our run game defense under control. I think the offense is going to find some identity. And we're going to really, correct those mistakes and show out.
I mean, they're a good team. It's going to be obviously it's going to be a good game. But I think like having a big game first week and being able to correct those mistakes, get another home game, it's going to be packed again. Like
I think John Morgan 3 sacks, 2 TFLs, 1 interception, and a punted ball over the stadium
and two nays.
Yeah,
2 nays. Count it right there. First sack dance is nay. I'm hitting it for sure.
All right, we're gonna watch that.
If you hit that, dude,
I got you. Watch. I'm telling you.
We're going to see a nay for Perfect Thursday. No, that's the deal.
For sure.
Shout out Brushes and Beans for always sponsoring us. Shout out Pittsburgh Clothing Company. Go check them out. Get your Beast of the East shirt. Shout out the Trap Walker line. New stuff coming soon.
Yeah, let's put those links in the bio of this episode.
We're gonna really edit this one up nice and pretty.
Let's go, boys.
Maybe. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.